I still remember that exact moment. The sun was just starting to dip behind the mountains when we spotted him. A small, thin figure curled up near the roadside where the dust met the pine. We just finished packing crates of peaches from the orchard, our hands sticky and our backs sore. I wasn't even thinking about anything other than getting back to the shelter and tending to the evening routine. But then I saw Max. He didn't bark. He didn't whimper. He just looked up at us with the saddest, most exhausted eyes I had ever seen. His body looked like it hadn't felt warmth in weeks. Dirt clung to his fur, and his breathing was short, raspy, painful to listen to. It wasn't until I got closer that I realized his nose had collapsed inward. The bridge of it was completely shattered. The whole thing shifted unnaturally to one side. His right nostril was useless. All his breaths came from the left side, and even that was a struggle. I crouched down and whispered, "Hey buddy, it's okay now. You're safe." He didn't run. He didn't flinch. He just stared. It was like his body had given up, but his eyes still had a sliver of hope. We wrapped him in a towel and took him home that night. Over the next few days, the whole shelter revolved around Max. Even though we had over 20 animals in care, Max was different. He was quiet, but not out of fear, more like he was conserving every ounce of energy he had left. Eating was a challenge. We had to hand feed him slowly. Even swallowing seemed painful. At night, I lay awake thinking, should we go through with the surgery? What if he didn't make it? But then I remembered his eyes. I remembered how, even in that state, he hadn't given up on us. So I promised him something out loud, just me and him in the dim light of the shelter room. "Max, we're going to fix this. I don't know how yet, but we will." Medical bills were piling up. Nana, one of our older rescues, had just been released from the hospital after a stomach surgery, and her care had left us deep in debt. So, we kept picking peaches. Selling fruit to fund surgery is not glamorous, but it was real. And the people who bought them, many of them knew that each juicy, sweet peach helped heal a life. Eventually, we had enough to book Max in for surgery. We called Dr. Shaw, the one vet we trusted for critical procedures like this. The day of the hospital visit, Max sensed something. He was restless. He squirmed in the car and tried to hide under the seat. When I carried him into the clinic, his body shook. It was a silent fear, the kind that comes from trauma that no one sees. He didn't bark. He didn't bite. He just trembled. We tried to calm him with chicken broth and gentle strokes. Eventually, he sat still enough for the vet to assess his condition. The prognosis was difficult. The nasal fracture would require complex reconstruction, and there was a risk of chronic inflammation if things didn't heal correctly. But Dr. Shaw was confident, and that was enough for me. We prepped him for surgery the next day. Watching Max go under anesthesia felt like watching my own heart pause. I held my breath as they wheeled him into the operating room. The minutes crawled, the hours stretched, and then, finally, the door opened. Dr. Shaw walked out, pulling down his mask with a tired but satisfied look. "It went well," he said. "There's still a long road ahead, but he made it." I wanted to cry. Post-op wasn't easy. His nose was packed and bandaged. He couldn't eat solid food, so we made him soups, hand-blended with vitamins and soft meats. Every day, we changed his dressings. Every day, he whimpered a little less. His appetite returned first slowly, then all at once. One afternoon, he stole a dumpling off the edge of the table and ran off like a thief. It was the first time I heard his tail thump against the floor. Rehab started 2 weeks later. His legs had grown weak from disuse, but we walked him little by little, first 10 steps, then 20. Some days he resisted. Some days he gave me a look that said, "No more," but most days, he tried. That's all I ever needed, and Max? He lived up to his name. Maximum energy, maximum chaos, maximum heart. He once bit my hand trying to snatch a meatball I was feeding another dog. We laughed so hard it hurt. Today, Max runs in the shelter yard like he was never broken. He can breathe freely no more. whistling, no more wheezing. He eats like he's making up for lost time, and every time someone visits the shelter, Max runs up first. He isn't the shy dog from the mountains anymore. He's a symbol of why we do this. People often ask me, isn't it exhausting, saving animals like this? Yes, it is. But I look at Max, curled up in the corner now, tail wagging in his sleep, and I think, how could we not? So to everyone reading this, thank you. Your support, your kindness, your belief in what we do it made Max's second chance possible, and Max, he'll spend the rest of his life proving that it was worth it.